Good morning, everyone. I'm Rebecca Gabriel. Welcome to today's daily card reading. This is Living with Spice. I hope you are well today. It's Thursday, the 25th of November. I think I've got my dates all muddled up this week, but anyway, it's not really all that important. I hope you're well. Now, this morning I have pulled a card from the Buddhism reading cards. I love these cards. They're beautiful in the way they've been illustrated, but a lot of beautiful wisdom is shared here about peace and love and happiness and how we manage the ups and downs of life, which are always there. Now, today's card is pure speech. That's the illustration there. So the message today is, happiness comes when your words are pure, bringing about kindness and benefit to yourself and others. Now, I don't know if that's actually a quote from Buddha, but that's what it says here. So the message is to understand that the words that we use are seeds that we are planting in the garden of our heart. Isn't that beautiful? Now, there are also seeds that we plant in the world that we put out there. What is it that we want to sow? Now, we have the power with our words, with our speech, to destroy ourselves, to poison the world, the people around us, or we can use our words to plant beautiful flowers in our garden and in our world. Words are incredibly powerful, and we know that the way we talk to ourselves is shaping who we are and our perspective in life. It affects our energy and what we're focused on. So if we listen carefully to the words that we are using when we're just in everyday conversation, do you find that you're using words that are belittling you, disempowering you, perhaps thinking through a lens of scarcity or limitation? Or are you practiced at using your speech to uplift and to see the possibilities in life and to see your life and yourself and others through a lens of optimism? Now, there's huge energy shift according to how we use our speech and how we use our words. And I'd like to invite you to practice this today. Watch what it is that you are saying and whether or not what you are saying and the words could be changed so that it is a little more uplifting and empowering and looks at the possibilities of yourself, your strengths, perhaps the strengths in others. Yes, it's an interesting dilemma that a lot of us have. We get caught into this habit of using words that are very disempowering. Now, I know it's a very Australian thing to say, no worries, or no problem. Perhaps we could rephrase that and say, my pleasure, all is well, absolutely. Yeah, they're just the little things that can shift our focus to something that is light and is focused towards possibility of things being achieved. Or we can use words that limit and suppress our energy, giving us the sense that we don't have choice, or that life is a burden, or that we're just trying to survive every moment of the day. I know a lot of people who use the word survive. They describe their life as they're surviving. And I'm just talking about everyday challenges or everyday things that occur in our life. We look at things through a negative, as if every day is a burden and a chore. But if we use different kind of language, despite our circumstances, it's enough to be able to raise our energy and reshape our own perspectives on how we see ourselves. So why not have the attitude of thriving, doing our very best, looking for the positives in our life, of what is possible. Yeah. So when we are practicing what's called purity of speech, it's asking us to be aware of the consequences of our speech and what it's going to bring about, the type of energy that it is creating. And are we prepared to take full responsibility for the kind of words that we're using and how it may benefit or not benefit others around us? Do we use language that's very draining? Sort of like that complaining language, that energy where life is so hard. Don't like that word at all, hard. Life can be unfamiliar. It's perhaps not always easy, but do we need to use the word hard? So it's really important that, notice perhaps to start with the language that the people in your office are using or in the home environment. Does it uplift you? Does it make you feel good? Or does it make you feel drained, that life is so hard to get through and you are feeling lower and lower and lower in your energy the more you listen to quite negative and heavily laced language and words? It really does create this sort of aura of heaviness and stagnation and lethargy. So let's take a look at being a little motivated to explore how we're using our speech today. Is what we're saying actually true? So let's think about before we say something, before we share something. Is it true? Is it inspiring when we share our words? Is it actually helpful? If it's not helpful, perhaps refrain from saying anything at all. And is what we are going to say actually kind or even necessary? So understanding our motivation behind our speech is important. And just reflecting for a moment, pausing for a moment before we actually say what's immediately in front of mind. Have you noticed how often so many people rush to speak spontaneously without actually giving thought as to whether what they're saying is kind or helpful or necessary? So this is what it's meant by purity of speech. Because our words are very powerful, they have the ability to create happiness and joy and possibilities, or to do the opposite. So we can create a lot of peace within ourselves, within our own mind and our own body, and certainly share that level of peace purely by looking, by watching, and being careful, discerning the words that we share, the things that we want to say. We can make such a huge difference by just being mindful of that, mindful of our speech. And so we can create a better world. I love the wisdom that's being shared with this card today. It's a little bit of a different reading today. I suppose you call this an oracle reading, all about wisdom and how we can improve our experience of life. I hope you've enjoyed that today. There is a little bit of a reflection at the bottom of this message here that asks the question, have you ever regretted what you have said? I'm sure all of us have at one point in our life regretted something that we've just blurted out and been in the emotion of the moment. And quite often we've gone, oh no, I shouldn't have said that. So there's an activity here for you. You can write a positive letter that brings joy and love to a friend, and that perhaps you have shared something and regretted that you used the words that you did. So make a letter, write a letter, something that's going to lift the energy. Write that letter to your friend and watch the positive changes unfold. Or if you're not doing that, perhaps you could journal it. All right, my friends, that's today's reading, card reading for today, all about pure speech. I hope that's been helpful and useful to you. You have a beautiful day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now.